What's also been, trending topic, but I've also been meaning to speak on for, I'm not going to say years, but months, but it's been going on for years. I've been privy to it for at least 5, maybe 10 years. Is the passport bros. The men that travel overseas to deal with foreign women. Like, they don't really have so much of a purpose but to find a woman of interest, and they travel overseas for it. Once again, women use that to say that men are predatory. This time, I'm not gonna disagree with them 100%. I do agree for some of it, but it's not the whole meat and potatoes of it, But I'll give you my thoughts on this. Okay? They like to say that men are lame, they can't get women in the States, and all this other stuff, But really, what the men want are just women who are cooperative. They don't want to jump through hoops and go through the ringer just to score a wife, a good woman. They don't want to overpay just to have a nice looking woman. They don't want to have to pretend to be somebody that they're not just to catch a woman's interest. And that's one thing that I've noticed about the men who are going overseas getting these women. Not just the black men, but the white men, because white men travel and, what do you call it, sex tourism. White men participate in that too. Let me not lose my point here. Men want to be themselves when they approach women. They don't want to have to do too much outside of themselves to get cooperation from women. When they go overseas, the women accept you for who you are. All they ask is that you're confident. When you're over here, there's a certain type. And over here, I mean the States. There's a certain type of man that the women want. And it's like, if you're not in that little category, you're not in that group, they're not going to deal with you. They're not going to give you no attention. If your money's not right, they're not going to give you attention. If they don't see you as masculine, you're not a certain height, you don't wear your clothes a certain way, your haircut's a certain way, whatever the case. Women are a lot more picky here in the States. They feel like they have more options than they do. And they definitely exercise it. They're definitely big on denying men. And part of that is men's fault, because a lot of men don't know how to deal with women, don't know how to approach women, don't know how to treat women. So I understand. And there's plenty of competition out here. Plenty of competition. Versus the States, they don't have to do so much. They show up, whatever the case. Some of it is tricking, some of it is actual mutual, genuine interest. It just depends on what type of women these guys are seeking and where they're seeking them from. I don't want to get into that whole they're too lame to get American. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Are they impatient? I'll say that, because women do require a lot these days, and over there it's not so transactional. And even if it is transactional, they're gonna make it feel genuine. That's good customer service if you're tricking. What I've been noticing though is, yes, the women are beautiful in these other countries, but they're not getting the top tier of the women in these countries. These women are in very bad conditions, third world conditions, don't know where their next rent payment is going to come from. Parents may need help in the hospital, medically, whatever, they're struggling. They deal with a lot. But I don't see these guys getting the top tier women in these other countries to be bragging. Do they look good? Yes. But it's questionable when she's struggling. I'm not hating on it. It's questionable though. Do I respect that they put these women on a much higher pedestal than the women in the States, specifically the black women? I don't respect that. I also don't see these guys going to, say, Haiti or countries in Africa and bragging about getting your passport to go get women. I don't respect that either. If they are doing it, it's not being displayed heavily. What I'm seeing is men going to the Philippines, Dominican Republic, Brazil, just places where oil colored, close to white women are. Women with the wavy hair. They got the nice bodies, the black body shapes, but they're not so black. That's what I'm seeing. So there may be a little colorism in this, rooted in this. There may be some colorism rooted in this, but I'm not trying to put that jacket on these guys. I'm just telling you what's on display. A lot of these guys are not going to countries where the women are dark-skinned and putting them on a pedestal and holding them up as trophies the way they do with these Spanish women and these Asian women. It has been said that now that it's getting so viral, just like I said, this stuff been going on for a long time, but now it's getting a lot of attention now. So with that, it's been said that these guys are starting to tighten up. The men in their countries are starting to tighten up and kind of reject the black men from coming in these countries or kick them out of their countries because they want to protect their women. If that's going on, I kind of understand it for many different reasons that I don't want to get into. I'm trying to see. Now, why these guys are going over there? Cooperation. They're getting more for their buck. Not necessarily saying that they're going over there and they're spending their money on women. Some of them are, but what I'm saying is, for what they're offering, they're getting more versus a woman in the States. Remember, I said that the women there make everything feel genuine. They go there, they get cooked for, they get serviced, they get complimented. They get their ego stroked in these other countries. Like they're always saying that they make black men feel like kings. Versus here, black men are wanted, they do matter, but they also have a negative stigma here. They're always getting painted in a bad light when it comes to relationships, whether it comes to spending money, having money, cheating, domestic violence. Black men have a big stain on their name, big stain on their face here in the States. And from what I'm seeing, it seems like they're treated like gold in these other countries, like they're valued. So they go there and they feel valued for whatever they have to offer these women. Trying to think what else. Women in these other countries, women of other nationalities are trained to be domestic. They're trained to serve their man. They're brought up to be wives. So they know how to treat their men versus women in the States. It's not just black women, just women in the States, period. They feel entitled. They want to be treated like royalty. So the script is flipped here in the States. So you're not going to get cooked for as much here in the States as you will in another country. Meeting a woman and just getting cooperation is a lot more difficult here in the States than it is in other countries. But I respect the reasons. Women feel entitled to a lot more here than they are in other countries. You know, in other countries, they don't have as much. There's not as much to offer. So they don't feel as entitled. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it works. These guys are just looking for wives to live a simple life with. The women over there just want a nice man to cater to. You know, he has the money and the means to provide. These guys have that to offer. So it goes together. But the whole, I don't know, that whole predatory thing, and they're too lame to get women in the States. And what I don't understand is if the women in the States don't want these men, why are they upset that the men are going over there? Oh, it's because they're bragging. It's because they're putting these women on pedestals. They're saying that these women are better than them. So now, I'm not necessarily going to say that the women have something to prove, but it's leaving a bad taste in their mouth. They don't like that. And they don't like that black men are going to a foreign soil and treating women somewhere else better than they would treat women on our soil. So I can understand that. But I still just don't understand, if you don't want these men, why are you upset that they want women in other countries? I've actually encountered men who value foreign women more than women on American soil. I've seen black men do it. I have black friends who do it, and I've encountered white men who think that, I'm not even going to say the nationality, I'm just going to say South American Spanish women, they see them as gold, like there's some kind of best kept secret. I don't know. Men just want to be catered to. They don't want to work hard for a woman. They don't want to go through the ringer, be treated like shit, talked to like shit. They just want simple life with women. Not gonna get into the whole breeding thing or nothing like that. I just kind of wanted to touch on this whole passport bros thing. I do think that it's lame that the guys are heavily promoting, like they're recruiting black men to get your passport and go to these other countries and leave these women. I don't respect that. I don't respect that. You know, plenty of men here make it work with these women in the States. You know, there's plenty of beautiful women here. There's plenty of good women here. You just have to find them. You have to find what matches you. Going to a foreign land strictly for love or pussy, that's lame to me. I don't respect that, because it's like so many other things you could be traveling for. Like, you know, you getting the historical facts, or you just want to embellish in a different atmosphere. You know, there's so many sights you can see. There's a lot of different experiences. The food, you know, there's so much other things you can be traveling for than making women the sole focus. Like, sex should not be the sole focus of traveling. It's the cherry on top. You know, it's great if you travel and you're able to come back and say that you got you a little something on some foreign soil. Any man would agree to that. But traveling strictly for that, I don't respect that. There's other things you can spend your money on. There's other things you can put your energy into. But that's my thoughts on the passport bros and men recruiting other men to get their passports so they can be loved on right.